Hello. We need to talk. We need to talk about money and talk about the next slide, which will come up soon, hopefully. I would like to ask you, how many of you paid with crypto today? Anything with any cryptocurrency? How many of you raise your hands if you paid anything today with crypto? Okay, there are two people. What did you pay for?
Services. VR services.
Yeah, it's VR services, okay. So not the darknet, right?
No, okay. Maybe tomorrow.
So basically, what I'm going to talk about, why didn't you pay with cryptocurrencies? And because there is a problem there. There was a dream about how you actually can use Bitcoin and other blockchain-based currencies for payments. So the original movement was all about replacing money. And there we go. Can you remove this little bar at the bottom somehow? So you're going, okay. So why we don't use cryptocurrencies for payments, right? So can you move to the next slide, please? Okay. So this is the top X cryptocurrencies. They have a very impressive capitalization, as you can see. But you don't use them for payments. Why? So there are a number of issues. They are slow, not user-friendly, not easy to buy and sell. But what we think the main issue, because all of these are being solved, the main issue is volatility. So this is Bitcoin price in the last few days. So, please, next slide, yeah, next one. Next. So, if you want to use for payments, if you look like Alice is going to send money today, and in a couple of hours, a couple of days, Bob just receives money and asks, why did you send more? Or Carol receives it and asks, why did you send less? Right? So you cannot use for payments, you cannot use it for payments because the price, the value of it is changing so quick. So why is it? They have a non-flexible supply, so they have a limited supply or a very rigid algorithm how it's actually changing, how the supply is changing. So they have asset-like attributes, so they get great for investments, they might be great for speculation, but this is causing volatility. So very few people think this volatility will be gone soon. So let's talk about a little bit what makes something a money. So this is kind of a consensus between economists that these three main functions which is required, something to serve as money. So one is using something as an exchange. So you can buy and sell goods or services for it. So there is a price agreement of the value of that, and you can trade things with it. So that's a very important. Can you go back, please? Okay, back. One more. Yeah, thank you. So the other one is unit of account. So that's interesting. So what is unit of account? So unit of account is your monthly salary, for instance, or your hourly rate. So that's an agreement you can use and you can plan with it. So you can make a business plan, or you know how much money you will receive. What's your rate? And the third one is store of value, which doesn't mean investment. It's not with the investment notion. You are not expecting a gain or a potential loss, but you are expecting that it can store the value in the long term, and the purchasing power will be the same. So if you look at the cryptocurrencies, then medium of exchange, well, I would question that, but let's say more or less it can fulfill it, but it cannot stand as a unit of account. So would you get a mortgage in Bitcoin? Would you accept to being paid in Bitcoin, have an agreement to being paid in Bitcoin as a salary? Or would you actually trust in it that you will be able to use Bitcoin to pay your rent in a year for the same amount? So crypto cannot really function as money. So, next please. So that's why industry thinks the holy grail of crypto is creating a stable cryptocurrency, a stable coin. And that's why that's what could actually combine the function and the benefits of actual money with the benefits of the crypto. So which I think all of us here are aware. So it's a web-stated institution. So this is a picture from Venezuela. I mean, I think you know about how the government just screwed up the monetary policy there. So people were losing their money. Or it cannot be taken or blocked. This picture is from a bank run in the UK. Northern Rock went bankrupt. People lost their money. The bank was mismanaging their money. It's much more efficient, so there's no need for brick and mortar institutions, a big burden of bureaucracy. So it's much cheaper and more efficient. And it instant transfer worldwide, right? And also it can be used in smart contracts. So that's a very important one. So which actually opens up the potential of use the value, use the money in an automated system without any intermediaries, any corruptible institutions or any kind of bureaucratic institutions. So what are the approaches for stablecoins? There are quite a few attempts. So there are three main groups of that. I'm not really going in too much into the details of the others. The first group is collateral backed, which means it's centralized. So Tether, probably the most known of that. Tether is using the collateral based, a bank account to store the money. We all know the questions around there. We know it's centralized. There are big problems. We don't believe that's the future. There are collateral-based. There are collateral-backed on-chain solutions. Augment is that. What we are working on. I will talk a bit more about that, obviously. The last one I don't really want to mention. You can Google it. It's a very outdated theory based on a very outdated economic theory. So. So what is the theory, what is the idea behind the concept of augment, what we are working on for more than a year now, is basically how modern money works. So I'm not sure how much of you know how modern money works in the economy. So that's an interesting survey which was done between the member parliaments in the UK. 85% of them thought that actually it's the government who prints the money. It's not the case. Actually, money is credit money. Every money what you use is credit money. So, which means that's a mechanism which provides that the amount in circulation is flexible and it's automatically adjusted by creating loans and repaying loans to the needs of economy. So the need of the money in circulation is actually based on the needs of the economy, and it's adjusting in a very surprisingly decentralized way by the commercial banks. So when a commercial bank issues a loan, then new money created. When someone repays a loan, the money is destroyed. So, and this is how the stability is provided, basically, because the price of the money is doesn't depend on the demand, because if the demand goes up, there is more money. If the demand goes down, there is less money. So what is our solution? So what we did, we thought we don't need to reinvent the wheel. Just apply what works, apply the good part of it, and use it and do it on the blockchain. So, and do it in a better way. Do it by smart contracts. Which, can you go back? So, go backwards, sorry. Backwards, back, yeah. This doesn't work. Yeah. Forward, please. One forward, yeah, thank you. So, which means that the rules are defined in the smart contracts, and it's actually censorship resistant. It doesn't depend on any institutions. The idea behind that is give back the power to the people about controlling money. This is public money. It's actually public money in real world. Can you please? Excuse me. Can you please? Thank you. So what are our principles? We have a manifesto. It's worth to read. It's on our website. It's a DAO, so it's an autonomous organization. no one owns it. It's actually owned by the community. The community actually governs it. And the tokens are only created against values. So there is no possibility to create tokens out of thin air. Any token created is actually, any stable coin is created, actually has to be backed by actual real value. And it's really important as well, the earnings are distributed among the community, to the community. So yeah, what is our mint cryptocurrency? So our mint euro, which is a euro, that will be our first token, it always worth €1. And it's an ERC20 standard token, so you can use it in any wallet, you can transfer it. We have a decentralized exchange, and there are fiat gateways who we partner with, where you can exchange euro to euro, one-to-one. So you can always actually go back to old school fiat currency. So what is the business opportunity here? So if you think about the payments and the business-to-business market size, so currently it's roughly 3 trillion US dollars, I even can count the zeros there, for digital payments, and for business payments is 6.7 trillion by 2020. So, and the system has like a very small percentage of the transactions, and also there's some interest revenue coming from the system. So, and this is what actually divided and split between, this one works, thank you very much. This one, what is divided and split between the stakeholders, and also majority of it goes to the system reserves, system intervention reserves. So yeah, you can see it's a huge business opportunity there. And so the team, so who we are working on, we have a big team of all, like spread around the world. It's a growing community in multiple locations, and two from the Big Four is interested to give some local advice on tax and legislations. So that's will help businesses to able to know the legal and tax implications of using the currency. So we are partnering with them, and if I can move on to the next slide, can you please? Yeah. Thank you. So this is our roadmap. So we have a proof of concept implementation, and in a couple of weeks we are launching a pilot with real money. So it will be basically a limited pilot. But how we are going to expand is obviously this is a utility which is great if everyone using it, but we have to find the good use cases for it, and we are going to work on pilots, very focused pilots on niche markets. So, and also we are going to find this way the use case where what we can scale up. One back here, thank you. So why we are here? So first of all, we think Berlin is a great place for launching some of our pilots. So if anyone is interested to manage or have an idea of a small community who would be interested in this, so we are looking for partners to launch pilots in Berlin or in Germany. So just come to us. We are looking for contributors. If you're interested in the concept, talk to us. In any field, it's not only developers, but in any field we are looking for further contributors. Yeah, we are self-funded and angel-funded so far, but we are looking for further angel investors. If you think it's a good opportunity, then again, come and talk to us. You can find us at the desk 26, just opposite to the coffee place. So come and talk to us. Also here are our contact information, so just drop an email. So thank you very much.